I can recall quite vividly when the 9 of us met for the first time. We were told to go down to sign in under the name of Max Peck. And it turned out that all 9 of us signed in under the name of Max Peck. Then there was this young fella that I said, we introduced each other, and he was a fellow by the name of Neil Armstrong. And I said, well, are you in the Navy or the Air Force? He says, no, I work for NASA. And I thought, uh-oh, boy, we got a ringer here. It's going to be a tough battle to get a flight on with Neil aboard. But he turned out to be a team player, a real great guy. And as we know from the history of what went on after that.
After people had looked up for tens of thousands of years and wondered what was up there, Neil was the first person to ever make a footprint on some place other than Earth. I told Neil once that I'm not a very jealous person, but for him I'll make an exception on that one. That first step on the moon was really something.
You always came away from a conversation with Neil thinking that he wants you to be the important person, not himself, in this encounter. And so yeah, he was a delight to talk to. Everybody liked Neil.
I'll always think of Neil, though, as a friend, and it's just too bad he's gone. But he looked at himself as being as being sort of out on the tip of the spear, if you will. And there were just a lot of thousands of people that were designers and engineers and people who made it possible for him to be out there doing what he did. And no one can take away anything from that, but he saw himself as the results of the work of a great team of people.
Neil was sincere. He always felt and said that, you know, it's not about me. It's about those other 500,000 people who made it possible for me to do what we did, what he did. You know, he always considered himself the tip of the arrow, and the strength of the bow was the American people who made it possible for him to do what he did. He just wanted to know that other kids could be inspired not just only by his accomplishments, but by the accomplishments of a country. The impossible is possible. All you got to do is go out and do it. I'm Neil Armstrong. I was the first human being on another, quote, planet in this universe. If I can do it, why can't you do it? Now, how's an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 25-year-old going to argue with Neil Armstrong? He wanted to inspire these young people to dream, and his desire was to inspire these dreamers to dream on, to take us back again where no man has been before. I think if Neil would certainly find peace within himself to know, and I think he did, to know that he had indeed inspired this generation. I could see it in their eyes, I could see it in their hearts, by standing in front of these kids and saying, "Hi, I'm Neil Armstrong." Bingo. There's nothing they can't do.
I hope in some way that who he really was can be captured for people so that future generations could profit from him. Because if we had a role model, Neil was one of our best role models.
I've often wondered if during these passing years, when Neil looked up at the beautiful moon, he thought, been there, done that.
I believe God sent Neil here to do what he needed to do. And once his assignment was up, then God called him back home. And so I'm really thankful and glad for that.